myself to some of the folks on this couch to my left. I was talking about the fact that if we are only relying on the people who always vote, we're not going to win. Just to be really clear with everyone. The fact that you're here to go meet the voters who don't typically show up, who are the very targets of, we talk about voter suppression and voter intimidation, and these new laws that make it really, really hard. In fact, it's harder here than in any other state to register and to cast a ballot. It is those targets, the people who are not supposed to vote, according to those who are in power right now, that we're going out to meet. And in our own words, with some help from Catherine and the organizing team, they'll prepare us on what's most effective for us to say and to do. But really from our own hearts, showing up and describing why this election matters so much to us. For those of you who knocked on doors, you know this. For those who have not, let me tell you, there's nothing, and I mean nothing in the world, that is more powerful than what you're about to do in terms of winning an election. We can produce and spend millions of dollars on the most brilliant television ads in the world. And whether that moves voters at all, I do not know. We can have these direct mail pieces that go right to your mailbox and have all these policy points, and maybe that persuades you, maybe you never even open it up and read it. Telephone calls, they're helpful. It's human-to-human contact. And texting, I think that does something. Letter writing too. But knocking on someone's door, like a human being, showing up and locking eyes with another human being in this modern, digitally driven age, where we're all separated and divided and locked into our own homes and feeds on Facebook. I mean, that is transcendent. It really, really, really is. And I've experienced it. In fact, I'm going to be knocking on just as many, and I'm a competitive guy, so many people working on today. So I'm going to be out there with you because I believe in it. I love it. If you're nervous, I've done this literally tens of thousands of times, and I still get nervous. Is that person going to be happy that I'm here? Are they going to be mad that I'm here? Are they going to say something nice? Are they going to say something ugly? You don't know, right? What you'll find is chances are people are so excited that you took the time, showed the very basic respect and courtesy of being literally where they are. Like you came to them, and it didn't cost them a thing. And you're going to help bring them into this democracy so that they can make a difference. Don't have to tell anybody, because we're all feeling this right now. This is about the darkest time that I can remember living in. And I just want to acknowledge, as a white guy, I only begin to appreciate how dark this is for so many who are under attack right now. For women and others whose reproductive rights have literally been taken away. For members of the LGBTQ community, we saw in Justice Thomas's concurring opinion yesterday. He said, hey, intimate relations among same-sex couples, you're on the chopping block. Same-sex marriage, you're on the chopping block. Who the fuck could have imagined? Stranger than fiction, never was going to happen. Progress moves in one direction. Victories have already been won. We don't have to worry about it, but it is happening. And obviously, yesterday's ruling, the fact that we have a total abortion ban in the state of Texas, with no exception for rape or incest, shows you exactly what we're up against. But my belief is that the darkest of days have a power of bringing out the very best in us. And that's what I see here today. Because talking with Jason Lee on our team yesterday, he said, listen, if we despair, if we give up, if we say, you know what, no matter how hard we try, they're just more powerful, they just beat us down, they rigged the rules of the elections, we can never do it, we end up doing their work for them. And part of this strategy is to demoralize us and deflate us. And for us to say, you know what, fuck it, I give up. You win, I'm moving somewhere else because I have the privilege and the power and the resource to do it. Or I'm stuck here in Texas and, you know, I guess I just hope I survive. Well, that's not us, right? And that's not the people of Texas. And we're going to go out and give others the courage that we're certainly demonstrating here today by showing up. Not easy for a lot of people right now to get out of bed and to come here, right? And actually take these next steps. But nothing else will overcome this. The only way we're going to do this is by winning political power. The other side, and I don't just mean Republicans, but those who are attacking among the most vulnerable in this state right now, make no qualms about pursuing and growing power at any cost. And sometimes those on this side, I mean, we are an empathetic, compassionate, kind people. And I love that. Lose none of that. But I don't know that we've been as clear-eyed as we needed to be about what we're up against and what we will need to do in return. To give us some hope, this is one of 60 canvases taking place just today across the state of Texas. There are more canvases tomorrow. Catherine will tell us how many we're going to see tomorrow. And we're 4.5 months away from the outcome of this election. If you will stay with us, not with me, with us, over the duration of this, if you will commit right now that this is not your last, if it's your first, it's not your last canvas, that you'll do it with us, if you can give us your spare time, give the people of Texas, give the future of this state, every spare hour that you've got from now till November 8th, if you'll bring in your friends, your family, your classmates, your colleagues, your neighbors, we will do this. I promise you, we will do this. One final anecdote. I was running a very long shot race for Congress in 2012 in my hometown of El Paso. And we were outspent in that race 5-1. I was up against the incumbent. There was a 5-person primary field. And, the only thing I needed to do, is the only resource we had, we made a virtue of necessity, was knocking on doors. It's exactly what we're going to do today. And I would knock on between 100 to 120 doors a day, right? Just to set your expectations. I hope you'll be willing to do it. And I live in El Paso where it's a little bit drier heat, right? We don't have this 1,000% humidity that you all have here. But it can get to 105, 106 degrees and even higher, day in, day out. And I'll tell you so many times, man, this is the 5th door I knocked on, no one's answered. Or this person who I just talked to just said something really ugly to me, and they're never going to vote for me, and I should give it up. And then you'll have one of these extraordinary conversations with somebody who shares with you something deeply personal, or they've been waiting for you. They didn't know they were waiting for you. They were waiting for you. And you showed up, and you really saved them. And I remember just realizing how powerful that was. We were in the last month. We were in the home stretch of this campaign back in 2012. And it's like a Monday morning, I walk into this diner, and this guy recognized me. And he says, "You're Beto, right?" "Yep." And he said, you knocked on my grandmother's door last Thursday. And she invited you in. And you guys didn't talk about policy or politics or any of that. She made you a cup of coffee. She told you about her daughter that she's so damn proud of. She's a school teacher. She works her butt off. And she's working against long odds, but she's doing important work. She talked about her grandson, who's a Marine. She's so proud of him too. And you must have made an impact on her, because yesterday, Sunday, I and my 32 cousins went to her house for noodles, and she made each of us promise to vote for me. It was like, you are going to win this election because we knocked on doors, because we met people. That's what you are about to do today. You showed up, which is so much of the battle. Please commit yourself to listening to this great training, then to getting out there on the doors. And what's the suggested time that we're asking from people? Is it a couple hours, a few hours?
Yeah, 2.5, 50 doors.
Yeah, if you can do 50 doors, that might take you 2 to 3 hours, depending on the length of your conversations. Try to do that. Set that as your goal. If you can do 100, we're going to be really, really excited about that. Even more important, if you can come back to the next canvas, if you will host a canvas, just like Alberto did here today, you don't know what a difference that will make. I ran the 5K Pride Run today as my warm-up for blocking. So I'm limber, I'm ready, I'm stretched out. I will be out there with Chris and Cynthia right alongside you for the next 2 or 3 hours, knocking on doors, doing the exact same thing. So grateful that you all are here. Thank you for coming out. Appreciate it. Who is leading our organizing effort in the campaign. She has brought together, how many volunteers do we have now total? 76,000 volunteers across the state of Texas. What we're all doing today is going to show the example of those volunteers. This is what we're asking you to do. These are the amazing people that you get to do it with. She's going to give us some brief instructions, and then we're going to go hit the pavement and meet these folks. So Catherine, turn it over to you.
Yes, very brief.